Imagine that possibility for a moment. Just the thought of starting fresh, making a shift, a change so fundamental, it feels like pressing the reset button on your very existence. Now, I want you to understand this very clearly. Starting a new life isn't about suddenly running away from the one you're living now. It's not about throwing everything out and saying, I'm done with all of it. No, it's about taking deliberate, thoughtful action to reimagine, to rebuild, and to renew. Here's the first thing to remember. All things are created twice. Think about that. Everything you see, everything around you, was first an idea. Someone dreamed it up, imagined it, planned it, before they ever brought it to life. A skyscraper, a city, a business, a career, all were created twice. First in the mind, then in reality. And your life is no different. If you're ready to start a new life, then you're going to have to imagine it first, to envision every little piece. What does it look like? How does it feel? What does it mean? You're going to have to start by getting clear about that vision. People come up to me and say, how do I start turning things around? They've had enough of the old habits, the old routines, the old story they keep living out year after year. Now they want something new. And you know what I tell them? It begins with a decision. Nothing changes until you decide it should. You have to make a decision so powerful, so committed, that it's as if you're drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is it. From this day forward, I'm creating a new story, a new path. Starting a new life means you've got to shake things up. Change something fundamental. Start with your environment, your associations, your daily habits. It's going to take courage. Why? Because most people get comfortable in their routines, even if they're miserable. Isn't that ironic? They settle into a rut, just getting by day after day, doing the same old things. But comfort, my friends, is the enemy of progress. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're slowly decaying. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to create? Don't just answer with generalities. Don't just say, I want to be happy, or I want to be successful. Get specific. Picture the details in your mind. If it's a new career you're after, what does it look like? What industry? What kind of people are you working with? If it's a better relationship, what qualities do you want to foster? And what kind of person do you want to be within that relationship? Now here's a critical element. To start a new life, you've got to be willing to leave the old one behind. Sounds simple, but it's not easy.
My friends, let me ask you a question. What would your life look like if you committed to just 6 months of hard work, consistency, focus, and discipline? Can you imagine the transformation that would take place, the incredible growth, the new opportunities, the sense of pride and accomplishment? I'm telling you, the changes would be profound and life-changing. You see, so often we get caught up in the idea that major transformation requires years and years of effort. We think, oh, I could never do that. It would take me forever to make that kind of change in my life. But let me tell you something. That is a lie that has been holding people back for far too long. The truth is, if you're willing to really commit, if you're willing to make the sacrifices and put in the work, 6 months is more than enough time to alter the entire trajectory of your life. Now I know what you might be thinking, 6 months. That's it. There's no way I can make that kind of difference in just half a year. But my friends, let me assure you, it is absolutely possible. In fact, I would argue that 6 months is the perfect time frame to see dramatic results. It's long enough to build real momentum and see tangible progress, but not so long that it feels completely attainable. You see, the thing about major transformation is that it's often not a linear process. It's not like you just chip away at it day after day in some slow, steady march towards your goal. No, real change happens in these bursts of rapid growth and development. And the great thing about committing to 6 months is that you give yourself enough time to ride those waves of progress, to truly capitalize on the compounding effect of your efforts. Because here's the reality: the more consistent, focused, and disciplined you are, the faster your growth will accelerate. It's like rolling a snowball down a hill. At first, it starts off small and slow, but the longer you keep rolling it, the bigger and faster it gets. That's the power of sustained, intentional effort over time. And 6 months is the perfect runway to really let that snowball build momentum. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Jim, that all sounds great in theory, but how do I actually make it happen? What does 6 months of hard work, consistency, focus, and discipline look like in the real world? Well, my friends, let me break it down for you. First and foremost, you have to get crystal clear on your why. What is the driving force behind your desire to transform your life in the next 6 months? Is it to finally start that business you've been dreaming about? To get yourself out of debt and on solid financial footing? Get in the best shape of your life? To develop the skills and knowledge to land your dream job? Whatever it is, you need to get laser focused on that vision and let it fuel every single thing you do. Because let me tell you, when the going gets tough, and trust me, there will be tough times ahead, that crystal clear why is going to be what keeps you going. It's going to be the thing that pulls you out of bed in the morning, that drives you to push through the pain and discomfort, that reminds you why all of this sacrifice and effort is so worth it.
But now let's make these notes now on setting goals. The promise of the future is an awesome force. We look back for experience, but we have to look forward now for inspiration. And what gives us inspiration to get up in the morning and do our job, learn skills, develop all that we can possibly be, is the promise of the future. And it can be so powerful that it can overwhelm any adversary you might have, any difficulties you might have. Here's a key phrase: reasons make the difference in how your life works out. Reasons make the difference in your appetite and zest for taking on the challenge, doing the job, becoming successful. Mr. Shoaff said, if you have enough reasons, you can do the most incredible things. You can get through the most difficult day. You can overcome the most unbelievable challenges if you have enough reasons. And so he said to me, if you haven't got a list of your goals, Mr. Rohn, it's probably because you don't have enough reasons. He said, I'm sure since I've met you, you have enough intelligence. And he said, you have enough good health. And he said, you have, all of those things working for you. But here's what you must work on now is to have enough reasons. Looking into the future, developing reasons. Okay. Now here's a note to make. It's important to make sure that the greatest pull on your life is the pull of the future. Some people let the past pull them back. The past can be like gravity if you let it to pull you back. Some people live in the past. They live in the darkness of the past. They live in the mistakes of the past. They live in the discouragement of the past. They didn't make it, and that affects them for the rest of their life, living in the past. So we don't want the past to pull us back, to live in the past. So make this note. Dreams and goals can become magnets. Dreams and goals can become magnets. And the stronger the goal, the higher the purpose, the more powerful the objective, the stronger this magnet is that pulls you that direction. Now, not only does your goals and your objectives pull you that direction, here's what they also do. They pull you through. They pull you through all kinds of down days. They pull you through a difficult time. It'll pull you through some winter of your life. Some people get lost in the confusion of the day simply because their goal is not right enough to pull them through.